Some of you may be asking, why the need to emphasize so much on sexual immorality during this week of prayer? Because it is the Mount Everest of our church. It is the highest test we are struggling with. I have no problem with Adventists and Daniel and Revelation. That's your thing. Sanctuary, your thing. Health and nutrition, your thing. Right now, we are busy punching numbers where this Ukraine-Russia thing fits. The beast charts are out. Got no problem, it's your thing. So that is not the highest test. The difficult test between these pews is sexual immorality. From the pastor who will discuss a huge Daniel and Revelation chart with the 3 girlfriends in the audience. So the chart is not the problem, covered. Then we need to go where the challenge is. The sexual morality of the Adventist church is as weak as the Russian rupee right now. So don't go around saying, oh no, all they spoke about in this week of prayer was sexual morality. What were we going to talk about? Daniel and Revelation. You guys do that thing every year repeatedly. You even dream it. What, health and nutrition? My goodness, you organize marathons here. Health marathons, you run all over. You know, you come back, you sell each other books on juicing. There's no problem. You understand health. You are covered. When the whole world was struggling with COVID, you were running around telling all of them, yes, Ellen White taught us these things in advance. So you're fine. Where is the problem? The problem is from the general conference to the local church, zip is down. Skirts are down. The married and unmarried, a festival of orgies. That's the problem. And it needs to be addressed. That's where we are climbing Mount Everest in the church. It's that we've created a culture where young people think because we live in the 2000s, sexual purity is outdated. Before I became a pastor and I left home, I went to University of KwaZulu-Natal to do my first degree. While I was there, it was an opportunity for me to really decide whether I believe in what I was taught at home. I love university. Nothing tests your faith like university. That's why for the first time you have to answer, do you really believe or not? And for me, in that environment where there was alcohol, there were girls, there was everything, there were drugs, and we sat among it. And we looked at all of it. The man I am today is not a man who is this because I lacked opportunities. I came in front of them. I resolved that what I was taught is good for me. So this is not about weakness in church teaching. It's about young people making a resolution. Do you want this for yourself? Not that we were short of opportunities. We were there. We were there. And my goodness, university has all sorts. We grew up going through high school thinking you will date black girls. Black was your normal. We got there. We met white girls who wear things this short to the class. Coming from the rural villages of KZN. We saw white people walking into lecture rooms with their thighs out, and we said to ourselves, Lord, hell lives here. But that was the reaction of the first 2 weeks. By the time you finish your semester, hell is you. You are hell. You are one. Everything happening here is now your freedom. So when we preach, young people will say things like, yo, but pastor, you don't understand. Please don't fool us. Number one, I'm not 70. I am not in my 70s. What we preach is what we were going through less than 10, 15 years ago. We are going through it now. We are doing our master's degrees, our PhDs. We still walk into those campuses. We are still seeing AMA 2000 in those short things. We are there. We know it. So we are not preaching from irrelevance. We are preaching from a point that says you have to resolve, because David says to Avimelech, we have kept ourselves clean. Not that the women were not naked, not that the prostitutes were not available. He doesn't discuss the women. He discusses him and his army. In fact, he says it, we remained clean even when the missions were not clean. So don't tell us how hard, Pastor, it's hard. Do you know women today? This is not a test of how others are behaving. It's a test of what you've resolved. It's not about whether women are wearing decently. That is why for me, I cannot accept the argument that, but Pastor, have you seen how women dress in church? I will raise David for you. His standard of holiness was not what the women were wearing. Do you know why? Go later. Later he will see Bathsheba naked. He will sleep with her. In his confession, he doesn't say, oh Lord, you saw Bathsheba nude. He says, I was born in iniquity. He says, renew me. He doesn't lay a case for Bathsheba's appearance. He lays a case for the sin in him that saw a girlfriend in somebody's wife. This is about me and you. And I'm not attacking dress reform, another one of those things that you guys are good at. Do dress reform, but my point is, if dress reform is to guard your morality, I've got a challenge if what lies between you and your morality is cotton. The silhouette of cotton can determine your eternity. I have a problem with that. I don't think God created men dumb. The idea of using women's appearance as an excuse literally insults us and debases men to animals of instinct. We are like, me want woman, me want woman. There's no brain. Because once it's about how a woman looks, literally, it means men must resign from all their intellectual positions. We don't deserve them. So that argument for me doesn't hold water. It really doesn't. This is about us deciding, whom do I want to be before the Lord? And David made his choice. And this evening I want to say to you, make your choice.